Hi everyone, in this video I wanted to demonstrate what we mean by creating a camera position program so that we can center that camera above our part at an appropriate position where it's in the field of view. So if you remember from the video and from the book, our field of view is what our camera can see. And in this case it's illustrated by this red box that extends away from the camera. And it's got lines going from each of the corner of the field of view back to the camera. So as we move our robot, this field of view is also going to move because our camera is connected to the robot, so our camera is going to move with the robot. So to be able to center this part inside our field of view, we're going to have to move our camera or our robot and thereby our camera and field of view into a position where it is centered over our Conrad part sitting here on the table. Right? And we want to do this so that every time that we're trying to do a vision application with this particular setup, that we would always be able to go to that same position with the robot and camera. And this becomes critical when we're trying to locate a part or inspect a part, that we're always going to this same position. Okay, so from here we're going to make sure, after that part is centered in the field of view, make sure that the robot or camera is the correct height above the part. And you can do this in a couple of different ways. One is to verify that this field of view is near the bottom of the part. So we can see that with this red box that kind of intersects the part here near the bottom. And this is one advantage that Handling Pro has, where we can see that relatively easily. But in the real world, we wouldn't have that ability. So what I would like you to do is to measure that. And in the real world, we would use a measuring tape, but here in Handling Pro, we have what's called this measuring tool, or measure tool. And so in using this, we have to select a point to measure from and a point to measure to. So if we're measuring from a point, we make sure that this box is highlighted, which already has in blue. We can select different ways of how to capture the point in which we want to measure. Okay? So I'm going to come over here and rotate my view on the screen until I can get access to this bottom part. And make sure I've got it where it'll select the face. Okay, so then I'll select a part there on my camera, and I can rotate this around just to make sure it did catch it, that it wasn't selecting something below it. Okay, and now scroll away, and now I'm going to rotate this around to make sure I'm over my Conrad. And then I would hit the 2, which will now allow me to select where I'm going to measure to, and it's already selected for face. And so it doesn't really matter where we select as long as we're on that face somewhere. And I'll show you why. So the measurement that we're really interested in is this Z value. So that's the distance that is perpendicular to both of those faces between both the bottom of the camera and the top of the Conrad part. So the Z value tells us the height of the camera from the face of this Conrad. And in the lab, I think I said 376 millimeters is what our target is. And I'm at 375.8, so I could play around with that a little bit, try to get that a little bit better, but you know, it's going to be close enough for what we're doing. Okay, so once I've done that, I can go ahead and exit out of that. And now that my robot is positioned where I want it, I can go ahead and create my camera position program, teach that point, and with the appropriate user frame and tool frame, and then I'm good to go.